So now I'm able to access the dashboard. To access the dashboard, what I'm going to do is I am going to create a user. Okay, that user I am going to allocate him to a cluster admin group. Okay, so Kubernetes has a role-based access control scenario. Okay, so I'm going to create a user and I'm going to give him a cluster admin role. Okay, so first let's create a user first. So for this, let me open up a new command prompt. Okay, and let me go into the training directory. There, let me create a notepad file. Notepad user.yaml. So open a new command prompt. There I'm going to create a new user.yaml. Okay. And this will open up a new file. There, so this is where I'm going to start writing my YAML files for the deployment. Okay, so to start creating a YAML in Kubernetes, okay, so the first line should be the API version. So there is a URL I will just show you. So Kubernetes API reference. So Kubernetes give multiple versions of API. Okay, for every kind of resources I'm going to create, I'll be using the respective reference. So you can just use this as your reference. So whenever you want to create anything, you can use that. Okay. So basically, here I'm going to create a service account. We'll talk about what are all these various things. So I'm going to create a service account. So authentication resource it will have. So there is a service account. So the service account reference is v1, API version v1. So the first line should be the API version v1. So I'll give you this URL. You can just keep that for your reference. Whenever you want to write any particular service, you can use this URL for the reference. And the first line I'm going to write in the user.yaml is API :v1. Okay. Please note this format is camel format. Okay, it uses a camel format. So API version, in that V is capital. And then I'm going to define what kind of resource I'm going to create. Okay, there are multiple resources in Kubernetes. We'll go one by one once the dashboard is up. So the first resource I'm going to create is called a service account. So kind is talking about the API version. So for the service account, the API version is v1. And next we talk about the kind. So this is where I'm going to define what kind of Kubernetes resource I'm going to create. And the kind is service account. And so for the resource, I need to provide the input, right? What should be the username and which namespace this user should be created. All these things I'm going to provide in the metadata. So this uses a YAML format. So metadata, and user for metadata, I'm going to give multiple inputs, and all these things, whatever I'm going to give after that are kind of key sub of the metadata. Okay, so the first is I'm going to provide the name of the service account which I'm going to create. So the name is admin-user, and I want this to be created on the namespace. So the namespace is Kubernetes-dashboard. Okay. So this is my YAML file to create the user. So I'm giving the version and the kind of resource I'm going to create. Please note S and A are capital, and under the metadata, I'm going to provide the name for the service account, and I want it to be created on the Kubernetes dashboard. So let me save this, and then I can go to the command prompt and I can apply this. The command is kubectl apply -f user.yaml. So the output will be something like that. This account has been created. So the service account is created. So I'm creating a service account in the Kubernetes, and then for the service account, I am going to map a existing role. Okay. So by default, when the Kubernetes cluster is up, there will be 60 different roles that will be created. Inside that, I'm going to allocate this user an existing role. Okay. We can also create our own role. We will talk about that when we go into the detailed labs of the role-based access control. There, you are allowed to create your own role. Okay. So next, let me create a notepad role.yaml. Create the file, and in the role, let me just copy paste. I already have that. Type it. So for the role-based access control, the API is role-based access control rbac.authorization.kubernetes.io/v1, and the kind is cluster role binding, and this should be for the user service account admin user, and it should allocate a cluster admin role. Okay, there is an existing role called cluster admin, and let me change the namespace. So basically, for the created user, I'm allocating a admin role so that you will have access to all the resources. So let me save this. Let me apply this and I will share it with you. So once again, kubectl apply -f role.yaml. So I created 2 YAMLs and I'm applying that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the token from for the user. So whenever a user is created, a token will be automatically generated by the Kubernetes. So the command is kubectl -n Kubernetes -dashboard get secret. So you can see there is a admin user token which was created just 3 minutes ago. So basically, the user is generated, there is a respective token will be generated. And I am going to describe the token, describe the secret to get the token. The command is -n describe describe secret, and I'm going to give the secret name. This is the secret name. describe secret. So this will print some alphanumeric code. I'm just going to use that to log into the So let me copy the token, and please note this token should be a single line. Okay, just copy that, and if you give the token here, if you hit sign in, so in the kubectl command, get is going to give you the list of information. So whenever you want to do, okay, I want to list all the pods running, all the deployments in the particular mission. So when you give a get, it is going to list the resources. And if you want to get more information about the resources, then you can use the describe. Okay, so if I want to describe about the pod, if I want to get more information, what is the images used in the pod and all those things, then I can do describe pod and the pod name. Okay, so this is the get and describe command or options in the kubectl.